Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I thought we'd do another snippet. So this was snippet 73, which you'll find on YouTube. So I'm going to do something to work with this on the opposite page for snippet 74. So she's got nowhere to put that. So we're working on a piece of 4 by 6 inch cardstock, and the snippets are exactly as they sound, a snippet of an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stamp set background elements, and I'm just going to add some of the background elements exactly to the background. So we'll just, I'm only going to stamp very lightly, and then we'll just sprinkle that with white embossing powder, just so we can see exactly where we've got our powder for when we stamp a little bit further down. Just means I can see where I'm going. Going to take my Versamark ink once again. The Versamark ink is a sticky ink pad, and I'm stamping that onto Pink Frog Smooth Card 300 GSM super smooth card, and the card measures 4 by 6, as do all the snippets. And the idea with the snippets is it's a snippet of an idea that you can take further or just leave it as is. It's entirely up to you. But the idea is it's to spark some creativity, to inspire you to get creative in some small way. And that's all the snippets are about. The snippets are about me reconnecting with you and also giving you a snippet of an idea to get you going. So we're going to heat our white embossing. Don't keep shaking your heat tool, Tracy, which is a habit of mine that I've just got into. I don't need to shake the heat tool, but you'll often see me do it because it's a bad habit. So as it starts to turn, and I haven't got very good light here, the light is fading a little bit. Let's just add that, just so I can see maybe a little bit better. Not much, but a little bit better. Now this is a very fine text that I am embossing. Let's move down here now. And don't worry, these are snippets of ideas, and if you overheat a little bit of an area, don't worry, it's a background. It's not a problem. There we go. So I think we've done most of that. A little bit of debris there, whatever that is, who knows. But then we've got our embossed background. So I'll just grab a little piece of kitchen roll, like so. And then I'm going to take Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going to drag the ink pad just down onto my background, turn that round just so I hit different areas of the card, and then I can just take my kitchen roll. For one, I can just spritz the background because that will react with the oxide. I can lift some of the colour from the embossed area and you can see how much colour you lift, but you've sort of got the splatters of the spritzing as well, just so that you can see that you've got the splatters as well on there. Okay, so we'll then take our 6x6 stencil, the Wildflower, and I'm going to just apply a little bit of candied apple to the floral that I would like, and I'm just going to add a little tiny touch so that I've got the shape of that floral. And then I'm going to take my Ecoline pens, and this is Carmine, which is 378, and Reddish Brown 422, and I'm just going to use these just to add a little bit of colour. So I'm just going to add a little bit of colour just around the edges, and then I'm going to take the Carmine and just add a little bit of colour. Just now, you can see that's not fantastic colouring, as you can see. So we'll then just take our water brush, which I'm presuming I've pulled out. Yes, I have. I knew I had because it wasn't in the place that it was meant to be. And I've got some yellow on there, which is not ideal. So let's just make sure that's clean. And then let's just grab a wash. And now let's grab a little bit of kitchen roll, take off the excess moisture, and what will happen is we will end up with the oxide reacting and also our pen reacting as well. So we'll pick up a little bit more, take off that excess, and just apply another layer of that colour, just to blend that colour. And what you want to do then is take your really dark colour, the reddish brown, and you want to blend some of that as well, and it gives a real watercolour effect to your design. Now, I would also faff a little bit more as well, but don't forget, I only have sort of 15 minutes to show you a little bit of an idea. So we'll just take this. Now, if I end up taking a little bit longer with this one, because I've not been back for a while since I was unwell, so it takes me a little bit to get into things, so I may take a little bit longer, but not much. It's still a snippet, and it's still a snippet of an idea that you can then take as far as you want. There we go. Let's just take these here. Where are the pieces of card? There they go. I've got embossing powder all over them, but it actually colours really lovely, just watercolour type. And you can see, I'm going to cut that down. That will look rather lovely. Let's just put the lid on that. And then we can take our stencil, the vase stencil SS4. And I haven't got my blending tool. go. So I'm just getting my blending tool, and I'm just going to add a little bit of this salty ocean just to the pot. It doesn't matter if I go over the edges, because I'm just going to cut the pot out, so it's absolutely fine. Now let's just add a little bit more depth at that edge, and then let's just spritz that with water just whilst the stencil is still there. You can also take another piece of card if you wished. You could place that over the stencil, and you would get another vase. If you look closely, you've got the outline of the vase that you could then add shading around. Now this is going to take me a little bit longer than the 15 minutes, but I've decided with the snippets, the idea is this should be a snippet of an idea, and that we're not timed strictly to 15 minutes. So let's take our vase. The idea is it just gives you a simple idea with your stamps that you can then take as far as you wish. It's entirely up to you. So a snippet could be 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 20 minutes, but it's just a little bit of an idea. But it's not a long video, so we don't want the long video. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take the same stamp set, and I'm going to take the Versafine Clair Morning Mist, and we're just going to add, preferably the right way up, curl that stamp a little bit, and we're just going to add, I just love how that stamping, come on, it's like, there we go, how that stamping works on that vase. So curl your stamp a little bit. So if you do this, it's a bit more random, and you end up with a beautiful amount of stamping on there. So this is still a bit wet, but that's fine. I don't need to worry about that. And we will add a little bit of shading, but obviously our floral is going to be, oh no, it might not be a little bit long. No, that's absolutely fine. But what we're going to do is just add a little bit of the stamping just to our floral, that just brings a little bit more interest to the design. So I'm going to leave the top of the vase so that it's not stuck down. That's just, and the idea is that if you want to add more florals, you can add the more florals. It's picked that up now. I can just add a little bit of adhesive there. If you want to add more florals, that top is open, so you could add a couple more of the florals if you wish. So we just want a few white splatters. It just brightens that page up, and a little word. So what word are we going to use? Tracy doesn't know. There you go. On my little art stamp, the A8 stamp, there's Free Your Imagination. And that is just perfect, just enough. And even though it's an A8 stamp, that sentiment works really nicely. So what I want you to do is, I want you to think about the snippets as something that is a joy to create, a video that's not too long. You're not on a time scale. The idea is it inspires you to make a snippet of something, or it inspires you to take it further if you wish. That's the whole point of the snippets. I was thinking about the snippets when I was in hospital and how I got Ian to bring the snippet journal into me. And I was thinking how much just those snippets of ideas inspire me to get creative, and I just love them. So we've cut that out, and then I'm just going to add a little faux black mat, and I've bought some metallic ones of these so that when we do our Christmas makes we can add some gold edges as well, like we used to do with Krylon pens. So we'll add the Free Your Imagination. So what I was thinking when I was in hospital is I want us to get away from this, that everything has to be done in a rush. So the idea now of the snippets is just to give you that snippet of an idea. So for instance, if you wanted to take it a little bit further, this is what I'm meaning by the snippets, by not looking for your products, Tracy, but you could add another floral. So this time, don't make it as long. Do exactly the same thing. Add your dark colour. Obviously, you don't have to put your floral right in the centre of the card like Madam does here. You know, you can do it at the edge of your card so you don't waste any card. But I don't do that, I just draw completely. I mean, look at that. Look at that for rubbish colouring. Nothing fancy whatsoever. At all. So let's just put a bit of that dark colour here and here. And then what we'll do, like we did before, is take our carmine, lose the water brush like we always do. Or did I put it back? Oh, do you know, sometimes I just worry about myself. There it is. So we'll just add some water, and we've got that the right colour on there. And then we'll just blend the oxide and our colour. And the Ecoline will give brightness, a little bit more depth to our project. And it works quite nicely. So let's pick another layer of that colour, and it gives a lovely, real nice watercolour effect. Let's then go to the darker colour. I've got wax on my non-stick craft sheet, which is really helpful. Come in with a little bit of that darker colour, which is now a wash because you've watered that down, so it's a little bit of a wash. It's not the neat colour. But I just love the effect it gives. That's it. Let's clean up our mess. So we've gone over the time a little bit. Probably because Tracy's looking for things. But that doesn't matter. The idea is you've got that snippet of an idea. And when I say to you, it's to give you an idea to spark off from, so that you can do a little bit more to it, should you wish. So what I'm showing you here, just in a slightly longer video, is I'm always saying, oh, take the snippets as far as you want, or just leave them as pared back as you want. You might have a more pared back style. Rebecca, who's on my DT, has a more pared back style, and we love it. It just gives you a different way to look at things. So it's up to you if you want it more pared back or you like more layers like I like. It's entirely up to you. But just look how that looks. So now if I wanted to add another floral, we can take a little bit of adhesive just at the bottom there. And this is what I mean by you can add a little bit more to it. Let's cut some more off because that's a little bit long. There's still a bit of adhesive on there, so that's perfect. There we go. And if you don't want to, you can have that. If you were doing a card, you could have that lifted up. So let's just add a few more splatters to that floral. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So I just want to make, so I've got an odd element to my design. I don't want it to be an even element. So what I'm going to do then, and this is how you will think about your work. Oh, that's not the stencil, Tracy. This is how you will think about your work. So now I want a really small one, which we can just use the ink that we've already got on there. And I can have a really small floral now. And obviously you don't have to keep cleaning up the colours that you're using. It's just I'm doing it so I don't get in a complete mess. So again, just go around. Look at that colouring. Terrible. But it comes together. So then we've got the light and dark colour, the carmine, and then the darker colour. And then we use the wash of the colours. So first the carmine, which we blend the colour. And if you've got too much water, it can run away with you. So less water is better. So don't have too much water. Just have a little bit and bring in layers of that colour. So let's now go to the darker colour and we can bring in that darker edge to give us something that is very watercoloured and more sort of relaxed. Okay, so let's just clean that up, which is not cleaned up, look at it. Let's just clean that up. And then we'll just cut our smaller floral out. Mainly because it's just me, I prefer, sometimes I will have even numbered things if it works right, but for me either the 1 or the 3 works quite nicely. A smaller floral there, and then just bring in the morning mist again and just add a little bit of stamping and then a diva. So don't forget, on this one I'm just showing you how you can take that a little bit further, because I'm always saying that. Oh, I can show you how to take it a little bit further. Just take that off a little bit more. There we go. You don't have to stick it all down. Then a few more splatters. And then all you want is, remember your finishing touches. Even if I don't do a finishing touch on the snippets, you always remember your finishing touches. I've got a lot of red in this brush, so it definitely needs a bit of a clean. So when I don't do, you know, say I don't do finishing touches because I'm just giving you the snippet of the idea, you just remember those little touches. So that then is your snippet 74. And this is what I mean by you shouldn't worry about being timed, because you don't want to forget little things like, let's just wipe that, just add a little bit of the shading just around our pot. So if we bring in our snippet album, and then you add your snippet to your previous page, but you've got the brightness on here, more vintage here, and a bit more of a watercolour effect to that as well, but a lovely easy way to colour. So I hope you've enjoyed the extended snippet 74 with a few more explanations. So love to all, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.